looking forward to my life. I'm looking forward to me, the way I picture me.
Who are you talking to?
I had this room that I lived in. Shall I describe this room? I had a wall with a picture of Walt Whitman in an overcoat. Every time I looked at it, I thought of Pennsylvania. I had a picture of the Golden Gate Bridge. Every time I looked at it, I saw the water underneath it. I had a picture of me sitting on a Jeep with a gun in one hand.
Oh my God, the turkey!
It's funny, the way the snow is.
Maybe we should read.
We have to wait for Liza.
Yeah, but we could be looking for the place. Do you remember where it was?
I thought you marked it.
I lost the place.
Shoot. Can you do a soft shoe?
No, I don't think so.
I was just wondering if we could do it sitting down, without getting up, just our legs.
Just like this, you mean?
Yeah,
Was it chapter 16?
Maybe.
just try. Put your hands on the table. 1, 2, 3, quattro!
Oh! Are we gonna read?
I was looking for the place.
Here, let me take a look.
Shooter lost the place.
I saw this picture of a dancing bear. Some gypsies had it on a leash. They were lying on the side of the road, and the bear was standing on all fours, right in the middle of the road. In the background was this fancy house. Don't act it out.
Were we past the point where the comet exploded?
You don't have to act it out.
I never saw a dancing bear. That was before my time. I think they made it illegal, too cruel or something.
It doesn't feel cruel. Just unusual. I mean, it's all off balance, and you can feel it. It's humiliating.
Well, that's what I mean.
What?
That's cruel. For a bear, that's cruel.
No, it's as though something's expected of me, as if I was human, but put in a different position, a different situation.
How?
Performing without realizing it. I mean, I realize it, but the bear just doesn't. He finds himself doing something unusual, awkward.
You're not the bear.
Oh, I found it! They've returned to Earth only to find that everything's exactly the same. Nothing's changed.
That's not it. Let me look.
I think I'll take a bath.
The turkey's almost ready.
I'm too scared to eat.
Just let him take a bath. It'll calm him down.
Is there any hot water left?
There was the last time I was up there.
I'm too scared to go up there alone.
If you remember the last time you got scared, it might help you this time.
I know. It's the same. It's the snow. Being inside, everything's so shocking inside. When I look at my hands, I get terrified. The sight of my feet in the bathtub, the skin that's covering me. That's all that's covering me.
You want some rum?
I know I'll get over this. Just sort of came over me.
Oh, this is ridiculous! I can't find the place!
I think there's another one out on the back porch.
That's what I do. I get this feeling. I can't control the situation. Something is getting out of control. Things won't work. And then I smash something.
Shooter, weren't you the last one to read?
Was I?
Yeah, it was you.
Doesn't matter, does it?
Only if you remember where you left off.
Let me look. I'll see if I can find it.
There's something to be said for not being able to do something well. I mean, it's all right. It takes a certain amount of courage to bring it out into the open like that. know, not trying to insult you or anything. We've got this image in our head of Judy Garland, Gene Canley, Fred Astaire, those feet flying all over the place, that fluid motion. How can we do anything for the first time? Even Nijinsky went nuts.
What about it?
It's hard to have a conversation.
When you're in a position of doing something like that, it's hard to talk about it. You know what I mean? I mean, when I was doing it, when I was in the middle of actually doing it, I didn't particularly feel like talking about it. You know? It made me feel funny, especially the references to all the stars. You know what I mean? I know I'm not as good as Judy Garland, but so what? I wasn't trying to be as good as Judy Garland. It started off just for fun, you know? But then it turned into murder. It was like being murdered. You know what I mean.
Didn't mean to piss you off. I would offer to help, but you're already doing it.
Oh, starving. Have we found the place yet?
Nope.
I'm starving. When are we going to eat?
The turkey's almost ready.
I couldn't take it. Just thumbing through the book, not even looking, not even seeing the papers, just acting it out, pretending.
I know.
Is that what you're doing? Is that what you're doing right now?
I'm looking for the place.
I admire your concentration. I couldn't concentrate. I kept thinking of other things. I kept drifting. I kept thinking of the sun, the Gulf of Mexico, Barracuda.
That's okay.
I know it's okay! That's not what I'm saying!
Was it just after the fall of the great continent?
Whoa, my stomach. I'll carve.
You'll have to stop doing that, you know? We only have one left.
I'll do it.
That's all right.
We're lucky to have a turkey.
Yes, I know.
It was smart, thinking ahead, raising our own.
Whose idea was it, anyways?
Mine.
I think it was mine.
Well, it was your idea, but then I went out and bought it.
That's right.
That's right.
We're sure lucky.
You know what they say is the best way to prepare a turkey? They say that before you kill it, about 2 weeks before, you start feeding it a little cornmeal and a teaspoonful of sherry, about 3 times a day. And then in the second week, you shove a whole walnut down its throat. When it comes time for the kill, you get a turkey with a warm, nutty flavor.
Is that what you did?
Partly. I kept up with the sherry dosage for the first week, but by the time the second week came around, I couldn't do it. I mean, the walnut thing, I couldn't bring myself to do that.
It's not cruel.
Who killed it anyway?
I did.
I can't find the place. Are we having any vegetables?
There was a late frost, remember?
We're lucky to have a turkey.
I know. I was just wondering about the vegetables, the cream onions and stuff, the candied yams.
Dark or light?
I guess there's no wine either, I suppose. never cooked over an open fire like that before. I mean, a big fire blazing like that. You almost start to roast yourself. You get afraid the kitchen's about to burn down.
I can imagine.
The heat is tremendous.
I thought turkeys were supposed to cook.
Well, you let the flames die down. It's just the embers you're cooking on. But the heat.
Yeah, it's hot in here for a change.
Oh, Jeep, could you get us all some water, please?
Right now,
Yeah, if that's all right.
from the well. It's a lot of work, you know. We can't just turn on a tap.
We're lucky to have a turkey.
It is freezing out there. I don't envy him. Hauling up water, spilling on your hands. It's freezing.
It's all right.
In the dark, feeling your way around. He might fall in.
We'll hear him.
It's all right, Shooter.
I know it's all right. Just because we're surrounded by four walls and a roof doesn't mean anything. It's still dangerous. You get a cold feeling when you're outside, separated. You have an idea that being inside is cozier, friendlier, warmth, people, conversation, everyone's using a language. Then you go inside. It's shocking. It's not what you expect. You lose what you had outside. You forget there even is an outside. The inside is all you know. You hunt a way of being with everyone, a way of finding out what's expected of yourself. You find out what's expected of yourself. You act yourself out.
Oh, there's one chair left.
I'll get it.
Dark or light?
What? I was thinking, if things get worse, we should get a cow.
Nobody's selling.
You've asked around?
Nobody's selling.
I was thinking chickens could be better.
Nobody's selling.
It's all right.
A goat might be good.
There is no way of actually preparing. We will have to do the best with what we got. We're all eating now. At least we're eating.
I forgot what I went out there for. I went out there and I forgot.
The chair.
Right.
It doesn't really matter. I'm okay on the floor.
I made a move to go get it, but he beat me to it.
It doesn't matter.
Was he being polite?
I guess.
To keep you from going out there.
I guess so.
But he's getting the chair for Jeep, and Jeep doesn't even care.
Oh, hey, it's all right.
Walt Whitman was a great man. He kissed soldiers. He held their hands. He saw mounds of amputated limbs.
I don't know him.
He expected something from America. He had this great expectation.
I don't know anything about him.
He was like what Tolstoy was to Russia.
I don't know much about him either.
A father, a passionate father, bleeding for his country.
Do you need any help with that, Shooter?
No, it's not much further. I'll be okay.
Almost 100 years ago, to the day, the same thing happened. Everybody at each other's throats. Walt could tell you. He was there.
I thought he was dead.
Ta-da! what you wanted? Ah, this is the life. Now I'm glad I went through all of that.
Aren't you hungry, Shooter?
No, I'm glad.
Okay, time to wash up then.
Do you want some water, Shooter? There's plenty of water.
You know, this is it for me. I finally found it. I'm never leaving this chair.
I'm gonna have some water. I'd be happy to get you a cup if you'd like.
He just said he doesn't want any. Does anyone want to read?
I'm never leaving again.
I don't mind looking for the place.
I can conduct all my business from here. I need a bedpan and some magazines.
We should save the bones for soup.
This is more like it. This is more in line with how I see myself. I picture myself like a father, very much at home. The world can't touch me.
Shooter, you remember when you were scared? Shooter, you remember? Shooter.
No, I don't remember that. Better leave that. People are washing dishes. Lupe's looking for the plate. Oh, why bring that up?
Was it where the spaceship collided with the neutron?
I remember, Shooter. I remember when you were so scared you couldn't go up to take a bath.
No, that's not me at all. That's entirely the wrong image. That must have been an accident.
Oh,
I knew a guy once who was afraid to take a bath. Something about the water. Stank like high heaven. High heaven, that's a good one. Boy, how he stank. Boy, how did he ever stink. Boy, how did he stink.
was it the water?
Yeah, something about the way the water distorted his body when he looked into it.
Then it wasn't the water.
Yeah, the water. The way it warped his body.
But that's just him, not the water.
Then he began to fear his own body.
From that? From seeing it in the water?
He felt like a foreign spy, spying on his body. He'd lie awake, afraid that his body might do something without him knowing. He'd keep a watch on it.
Was he a close friend?
I knew him for a while.
What happened to him?
His body killed him. One day it just had enough and killed him.
What happened to the body?
It's still walking around, I guess. Would someone tell Liza to bring me the flask?
She's washing dishes.
That's an interesting story, Shooter.
Thank you.
How did it get started?
What?
I mean, how did he get into this relationship?
Who knows? It developed. One day he just found himself like that.
Remember the days of mass entertainment?
No.
This would never have happened then. Something to do every minute. Always something to do. I was once very active in the community.
What's a community?
Well, it's a sense of... What's a community, Shooter?
Oh, you were on the right track.
Yeah. Yeah, it's,
I know.
Yeah, you know. Doesn't need words.
I know what you mean.
It's just a sort of feeling.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I think we're beginning to get it a little. To get it back. I mean, you can feel it. Even in the dead of winter. Everyone's sort of helping each other out.
Did he suspect his body of treason? Or was that it?
I'm not too sure. It was a touchy subject.
He must have had a hard time. I mean, he couldn't tell anyone. I mean, he wouldn't expect anyone else to be in the same boat, probably.
Probably not.
What was it?
It is rare.
Was it during a particular time of hardship?
I can't rightly say.
I mean, were things crumbling?
I suspect he couldn't see it. I mean, I suspect he had his ideas, his opinions, certain stiff attitudes.
When was this?
And his body's still walking around.
Yeah, a walking stiff.
Can you tell? I mean, if we ran into this body, could we tell it was vacant?
I'm not sure.
Well, how could you tell?
I mean, there must be something. There must be a way. Something must be missing. You could tell if he wasn't all there.
I don't know.
How? How could you tell?
You know. I know. I mean, with us. We know. We know. We hear each other. We hear our voices. We know each other's voice. We can see, we can recognize each other. We have a certain, we can tell who's who, all right? We know our names, we respond, we call out. We're not stranded like that. It isn't like that, how that would be.
I'm starving. Did we eat already?
You weren't here.
I was here. I was here all along.
Not at the right time.
You mean you ate without me?
What?
Starting to regret my decision.
What?
Of staying in this chair.
Oh.
It was short-sighted.
I'm trying to concentrate.
I've about had it with this bucket. I can't figure out what I've been doing here all this time.
How deep is our well anyways?
What's happened to Liza?
She's washing the dishes.
Have I been standing here all this time?
I'm not standing up here because I'm afraid of fish. I'll tell you that much. I was standing up here before the fish even arrived. It's just a coincidence. It's not what it looks like.
Shooter, could you create some reason for me to move? Some justification for me to find myself somewhere else?
Only if you promise that you don't think I'm scared of fish because I'm standing here and there happens to be a fish in this house.
I'm not thinking of you!
Oh my God, are you kidding me?
Go and pick up the fish. Okay. Now go and put the fish on the table. Take your jackknife out of your pocket. Now open your jackknife, the big blade. Cut the belly of the fish, starting from the pea hole and slicing up towards the head. Now clean it like you would any other fish. What's been going on here? Was there a party? Was someone taking liberties? It's agonizing. All this time, I could have sworn I was getting something done. I can't even remember eating. Did we eat already? Well, someone's gonna have to bring me food. Come hell or high water. It's not my fault. I could have the fish. When you're done with it, could you fry some up and bring it to me? If it's not too much trouble. This isn't the worst. It's just that my stomach is growling. I couldn't stay here forever. If I got up, would it be a sign of my weakness? Gee, if I got out of this chair, would you think I'm weak?
The table's littered with carcasses. Guts, bones, the insides. I'm in the middle of all this.
Who are you talking to?
I'm swimming in it.
It's nobody's fault, you know.
I can't help eating. I'll eat to my dying day.
Oh, brother!
If you were alone, would you have done that?
I'm sticking to my promise. I'm in the chair.
You wouldn't call it showing off.
I'm at my wit's end. The whole world could disappear.
I'm feeling better already. You remember before when I was getting the fears?
What was that?
When I was asking you if you remembered when you were too scared to go up and take a bath.
That was a long time ago.
I'm feeling better now, even in the middle of all this violence.
You should have told me you were scared. I didn't know you were scared. I would have done something about it.
I'm in a better position now. Now I've got something to do. I can even imagine how horrifying this all could be. And it doesn't even touch me. It's like I'm dismissed.
Am I completely hidden?
More or less.
Maybe I'm gone.
Maybe.
Maybe that's it then.
Maybe that's it then.
That's
Gone.
it, all right. Flown the coop. Is there anyone to check it out, to verify?
Are you sure you want to?
Maybe it's better like this. It could be our secret.
Are you sure you're not completely there?
More or less. Something comes up now that you mention it.
Oh!
What happened?
I don't know. I got no reference for this.
What happened? You have to clue me in.
Once I was in a family. I had no choice about it. I lived in different homes. I had no choice. I couldn't even choose the wallpaper.
Are you getting to the point?
I lived in different schools. I found myself in schools, in cars. I got arrested. That's when everything changed. The second I got arrested.
Did you forget about me?
The second I got arrested, I understood something. I remember the phrase, getting in trouble. I remember the word trouble. I remember the feeling of being in trouble. It wasn't until I got in trouble that I understood my true position.
What was that?
I was out in the world. I was up for grabs. I was being taken away by something bigger.
The cops?
Something bigger. Bigger than family, bigger than school, bigger than the 4-H club, bigger than Little League Baseball. This was big time. My frame of reference changed.
Did you go to jail?
Oh, I went everywhere. Cop car, jail, court, cop car, court, jail, cop car, jail, cop car, home, and everywhere I went, I noticed this new interest in my existence. These new details. The lines on my fingers, hairs, eyes, change in the pocket, knives, race, age, every detail.
Who was interested?
A vast network, a chain of events. I entered a new world.
Weren't you scared?
I used to have this dream.
That would come to me while I was on my feet.
I'd be on my feet, standing there, in these walls.
And I'd have this dream come to me that the walls were moving in.
It was like a sweeping kind of terror struck me.
Then something in me would panic.
I would make a move.
I'd just be standing there, very still.
But inside, something would leap like it was trying to escape.
And then the leap would come up against something.
It was like an absolutely helpless leap.
There was no possible way of getting out.
I couldn't believe it.
Nothing in the whole wide world could get me out of there.
I'd relax for a second.
I'd be forced to relax because if I didn't,
If I followed through with this inward leap,
If I let my body do it,
I just crashed against the wall.
I'd just smash my head in or something. I had to relax. For a second, I could accept it.
That I was there?
in jail,
and I wasn't getting out.
No escape.
For a second.
then these thoughts would come.
How long?
How long was I there for?
A day,
Maybe I could last a day.
A week?
a month,
I could never last a month.
forever.
That's the thought that did it.
Forever. Then the whole thing would start up again.
Except worse this time.
As though it wasn't just a thought.
As though it really was.
I would make a move.
I couldn't do anything. My body was shaking.
I'd start to make sounds.
It just came out of me.
A low moan.
An animal noise.
I was moving now.
I was stopping myself.
I couldn't stop.
The whole world disappeared. I had no idea what the world was.
I had no idea how I got there or why or who did it.
I had no reference for this. Now, we're supposed to exit stage left like professionals, but we first wanted to give a couple words to our director and someone who's very close in our hearts. They say you shouldn't meet your heroes, but I'm glad I did. Schultz, thank you. It's just been such a fantastic journey in high school, these 3 years, and it's just been, I'm just so grateful for the time we've had together, for the guidance, for the mentorship, for the leadership, and it's just been such a pleasure and an honor to be in this play that you've done so many times and be part of those memories. So thank you.
Hey Schultz,
neither of us will be in school anymore. And, you know, I look back and I think of Ripley and Ellie who were able to come back to SAS and, you know, sit and chat with you. And it's sad to think that I'd never be able to have those experiences. I still think back to freshman year. I was walking into high school, very timid guy, and I had improv. And so I'd walk up on stage, we were doing Central Park or something, and I had something planned. I was gonna tell an amazing joke. And I went up there, and there was a bench on the stage, and I said something about being like a shoplifter or something, and no one laughed. And the left corner, there was just Schultz, like, and that was the only confidence I needed throughout all of high school. I guess what I'm trying to say is, thank you. I couldn't ask for a better mentor, a better friend, a better director. Thank you.
Schultz, I have a script. Because I can't memorize. Okay. I don't know how to start, because I still believe that next year when I come back from summer break, I can go to your room during my free block, and we can just talk like how we do now. It's either me telling you about my life, or you're telling me a story and I'm sitting there shocked. I don't think you realize just how much you've changed me. As a junior, I'm pressured to plan out the next 20 years of my life, and I can't help but think life is better when it's unpredictable. To take advantage of the fact that I'm alive right now, and I'm not confined to four walls and a desk. Schultz, you're more than a teacher. I never thought that one day my ass kissing would lead to what is hopefully a lifelong friendship.
So, we go very way back. I've only been at SAS as long as you've been at SAS, and I remember in middle school when I was terrified to come into high school because, like, oh, it's Schultz, the drama teacher. I'm a little scared because you do quite unique shows. But as soon as I came in, you were always there to advise me, always there to pressure me, try out for this, audition for this, be there for this. And throughout these 4 years, I genuinely don't think there is another teacher I have become friends with on such this level that I have. And I think you were genuinely one of the best directors that any of us will ever have. As Sid said, it's really sad knowing that when I come back to visit, you won't be here, but I'm so grateful that the four of us were able to do this performance with you and end it on a really good note. And I know you're sick of hearing all these speeches and everything. It's been a tough couple weeks, but we just really want you to know that you are very special to everyone in the community, and we value you so much, and you're gonna make a splash in Brazil.